Hi friends, I'm Heidi Villegas with Healing Harvest Homestead, and I am here to share herbal and aromatic and natural living tips for you to help you be more self-reliant and live a healthier life, which is what we do in our house and on our homestead. So I thought I would pop in here. I was just making some herbal teas and things and reviewing an article that I had written way back in 2018 about kitchen spices that also double as medicinal herbs. And I thought I would just do a really quick rundown here of 14 of my favorites. This isn't all of them by any means. There are so many more, but this is going to give you an idea of how your kitchen can serve as a home pharmacy. Next up is fennel. I love buying fresh fennel from the store. I actually bought some last week and I went to go grab it to make this video, and it's a little yellowed, so it's going to go to the chickens. But I love using fennel, and the seed is amazing. Fennel is another herb that is very helpful for lactation and supporting nursing moms in getting milk flowing and keeping it flowing. So it's great for that. I love using fennel as an antispasmodic in a lot of my premenstrual cramping blends and things like this. So I've got several recipes that contain fennel for that, and super helpful for the digestive system. But fennel is wonderful, and it can even be made into candy. I have an article on my website where I share a fennel candy recipe, and it doesn't ever last. It's just so delicious. So I'll link to that too. I'm kind of linking to a lot of articles and things, but I've written about all these herbs so many times that it's hard not to. So fennel is another one that you should consider keeping in your home, especially if you suffer from IBS or any kind of digestive upsets and things like this. Next up, garlic. We ran out of our garlic stores from our garden last year. So if that happens, I have to go and buy a bag. But I love fresh garlic. And I love just putting it in vinegar, the cloves, so once they're peeled in vinegar in the refrigerator, because they infuse that vinegar with the most delicious flavor. And I cook with garlic. I don't think there's a day that goes by that we don't cook with garlic or eat some garlic. It is that good for your body. So garlic is an anti-fungal. It helps your body deal with worms, basically. So if you have parasites or you suspect any in your body, if you've been eating sushi, for example, you should definitely be eating garlic, because it can help kill any kinds of worms or parasites that are in your body. And I read an article one time, it was written by a scientist who pretty much guaranteed that if you are a sushi eater, you've got worms, okay? So just something to consider with that. And by the way, I love me my sushi, but once I read that article, I haven't had sushi since. Raw fish anyway, just a little say. Garlic is also expectorating. What that means is that it gets into the lungs as you eat it, and it helps clear mucus out. You've probably heard of poultices with garlic, or hot mustard is actually another one, where you put them on your chest and all of a sudden you can breathe again. So if you have nothing else, in a pinch, garlic it's kind of stinky, of course, but it's really helpful for supporting the respiratory system. It's great for your immune system. If you have a cold or a flu, pop that garlic. It's wonderful. It's a diaphoretic. So if you have a fever, it can actually heat your body internally and help you break that fever faster. It's also, because of that same reason, it's really helpful for your metabolism and can be a helpful aid in weight loss if you're interested in that. Just speeding up your metabolism and your whole body energy. But garlic is amazing. Garlic may also help reduce cholesterol. So do some research on that, check into it for yourself, talk to your doctor about it. But there's more growing evidence that it can really be helpful for people who suffer from high cholesterol, especially if it's the bad cholesterol, the LDL. So do some checking into that. But I just eat it all the time. So it's part of our daily diet, and that's just how we get it into our bodies. So next up is ginger. Here I've got some fresh ginger, and I'm actually going to be planting these little, some of these nodes, these little knobs. You can see that here's a little piece here that's getting ready to start growing. You can grow ginger right inside your house, even if you're in a cold area like we are. And it's really a cool plant. It puts up these grassy, long grassy stems, and then when the ginger's ready to be picked, the stems will kind of, you can pretty much get an idea of when it's ready. You can also dig down there and look at it, but ginger comes from a rhizome that spreads under the soil, and again, super easy to grow. But I love having fresh ginger on hand, and I also love having my cut and sifted ginger on hand. In addition to that, ginger powder is always very helpful, and ginger comes as an essential oil too, because any plant that contains volatile oils can generally be distilled, and essential oil can be gained from that process. So just really helpful. So what's ginger good for? Ginger is a warming herb. It is helpful for your circulation. It's a diaphoretic as well, just like garlic, only it tastes better if you have to like drink a tea or something like that. What that means is that it's helpful if you have a fever and you want to heat up your body internally. It can help break the fever faster. It's just very supportive of the body. It's helpful for nausea, especially with nausea associated with motion sickness. So if you have children who get car sick, and I was one of those kids, dilute a little bit of ginger essential oil in a carrier and just dab it behind the ears. It's really, really great for helping soothe nausea. You can also take what they call nickel cuts of the rhizome and just stick them in your cheek. In fact, if I have to fly anywhere on an airplane, I've got my little ginger pieces cut up and I just tuck them into my cheek, and they're really helpful for motion sickness. Ginger is also expectorating. It helps to clear the lungs, excess mucus out of the lungs, and it's helpful with your circulatory system. Ginger is another plant that I'm just never without in our house. It's just one of those plants that's amazing, and I just love that you can grow it. In fact, you can grow most of the herbs here that we're talking about. And again, these are all culinary herbs too, so it's very likely they're in your kitchen right now. And I just think it's amazing that we can use these plants for our wellness and our health, and we have access to them right at our fingertips. Next up is peppermint. I love peppermint, and I actually don't have any fresh peppermint here right now. It's coming up in our garden though as we speak. It's about that high at this point. It's a perennial. You can grow it easily just about anywhere. And peppermint is one that we actually dry every summertime and then keep over winter, but we've used it at this point. We're in the early spring right now, and early spring is one of those tricky times because the plants are starting to grow, but they're not ready to be harvested yet. And we're also at the end of winter, and we have quite possibly used up our year's supply of certain plants. And so in this case, peppermint happens to be one of them. But I love using peppermint as a cooling herb. So if you are a person who runs hot, drink some peppermint tea. It will cool you down. It's amazing. It's one of my favorite drinks to drink in the summertime. It adds so much flavor to your herbal teas and even your foods. Another great thing about peppermint, it is a great analgesic, and it's cooling. So where you've got ginger as an analgesic, or some of these others, the cayenne is an analgesic, or the cloves is an analgesic, those are generally warming, and so they're going to heat the area. But peppermint contains menthol, and the menthol makes that plant cooling. And have you ever heard of icy hot? And so it's one of those ointments where you've got the compounds from the different plants working together to soothe and make your painfulness. I'm rubbing my lower back because that's where I used to have some really serious L4, L5 disc problems, all cured now due to herbs. And I've got my whole protocol for that. But anyway, I'm going astray here, but we're talking about peppermint, and peppermint is one of those anti-inflammatories that's cooling. and works wonders. It's also excellent for the digestive tract and for a soothing stomach upset. What it does is it's got some antispasmodic qualities, so it helps to relax the pyloric sphincter in your stomach. For most people, that's great because it helps the stomach ache go away. It helps reduce acid reflux. However, there are some people who cannot take peppermint for those reasons, because it ends up relaxing the pyloric sphincter too much, and it actually creates a problem with the acid reflux. So you probably already know if you're a person who can't take peppermint, but you know, if you end up having an upset stomach, which is pretty rare in my opinion, then just stop taking it. And avoid it. But peppermint for most people is absolutely amazing. You can also, of course, get the essential oil. It's energizing. It helps with cognition. I think peppermint is just one of my favorite mints of all time. I have a lot of favorite mints actually, and we'll go into mints later. All right, I hope you enjoyed this little rundown of a few different culinary herbs that you probably have in your kitchen right now and how you can use them for your health and wellness. If you're really fascinated and interested in this, you should consider taking my course, Ditch the Drugstore. In Ditch the Drugstore, I teach my students how to build their own home apothecary that's personalized for them. So it's not some generic, here's 15 remedies, kind of a course. No, we dig deep. You actually get to think about your family and what you guys need in your family, and I help you put it together over a period of a few weeks. At the end of that very few weeks, you've got a super home apothecary that is easy to use, and it's at your fingertips, and it's all natural. So consider joining us for Ditch the Drugstore next time I open it. You can get on the wait list in the link below in the description. Just click where it says show more and it'll be there. All right, I'm Heidi Villegas with Healing Harvest Homestead. I hope you enjoyed this video, and please take advantage of my free herbal remedy guide and cheat sheet. You also might want my How to Relax Using Herbs guide. It's actually a book. It's a digital book that's 24 pages long and contains recipes. So you can pick those up in the links below. All right, I hope you enjoyed this.